What made you pursue a career in acting?
I've always wanted to be an actress. And I know that sounds so cliche because I think that's like everyone says, like, I always wanted to do this. But I remember from a very young age that I would see movies. My parents are divorced. And so when I would go with my dad on the weekends, he would always take us to the movies. And I remember sitting there and just being in complete awe of the movies and being like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. I didn't know it was called acting, but I was just like, whatever that is, I want to be in it. So it was, I want to say like elementary school, middle school is like, I remember thinking about it and wanting to like learn more about that field.
What movie was it when you were younger that you loved the most watching with your father? Was there any standouts?
There wasn't, because like I said, like it was every weekend. And sometimes we would watch 2 movies. And I'm the type of person, and my dad's like that, so I think that's where I get it from, where we would just watch a movie just for the sake of watching a movie. And then leave there and be like, wow, that was completely horrible and a waste of my time. But it's I guess like just going to the movie theater and actually sitting there and watching the movie. That was the experience, like bonding between us.
So more of the bond.
Yeah.
And I guess, is it like an emotional thing? Like, have you got a chance to watch your movie with your father?
Oh
Any
my
of the
God,
movies you've been in?
I have not. That is such a good thing. I haven't. And it's funny because when I've been out here in LA for 6 years now, and every show that I've ever done or every movie that I've ever done, when it's aired or when it's premiered, my parents have always been back in the East Coast. They've always been back in Miami. So like we'll FaceTime and they'll obviously see it 3 hours before I do. So I get the gist of like, you did great. And yeah, your scenes weren't cut. But I've never like sat down and actually watched them. I might have to do that when I go back home for Christmas.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
What was the journey in pursuing this career? Like, what was that changing moment?
For me, the changing moment was when I moved to Atlanta. So I lived in Miami and I got my bachelor's degree in elementary education because even though I wanted to be an actress, and when I told my mom that's what I was going to pursue, she was like, ha, that's very funny. I didn't come to this country struggle for you to struggle too. You're getting a degree in something that is beneficial for you to make money and have a stable career, and then once you get your degree, then you can do that if you want to. So I like working with children, so I got my my degree in that, and then right after that I moved to Atlanta, and just one of those serendipitous things where I met this one actor who's a musician as well, and we were talking, and I said to him, wow, you know, you're an actor, like I've always wanted to do that, that's so cool. He's like, well, you know, you can still pursue it. And in my mind, I thought that you had to be a child actor in order to move into being an adult actor. And he showed me the ropes and kind of showed me around in like Atlanta, some of the acting schools. And so I went in, took some acting classes, and kind of everything just spiraled from there, went meeting other people, got an agent, and then the rest is history.
Did you have any nervousness? Do you remember like the first day of class when you walked in?
I can't remember if I was nervous in class. I mean, I'm sure I was, like everything else. When you're trying something new, you're stretching yourself, you're putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation, not only like meeting new people, but doing something new. So I definitely was nervous, especially like, okay, it's your turn to get up and do whatever it is that we did in class.
I'm just imagining, I just remember working with kids a lot. You see they get dropped off at kindergarten, start crying, they got mom, and you know, all that nervousness. So I didn't know if that almost translate into your first day of doing something you really want to do. It's like, this is my first day.
Yeah, it was still there. And I remember even like going to auditions and things like that, like the nervousness was still there. And you know, when I first started, I used to look at it like, oh, why am I nervous? I shouldn't be nervous. But nervous is a good thing. Like I ran track in college, and I started running track in middle school, and I always did the 100 and the 200. And I did it all the way to college, and we would train year round. And every time I got on those blocks and they were like, on your mark, my heart was beating out of my chest. I was just like, and it's just that I think it's a bit of that competitiveness, and then also like wanting to do good and wanting to be good, and all those expectations that you put on yourself that it's always gonna lead to that. I mean, I even get at the gym, if my legs are tight, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do 20 box jumps. You know, that first one, you're like, all right, you got it, girl. Come on, get up there.
Thank you for watching A Wise Way. Subscribe to stay updated, share to pass the knowledge, or view our other videos on the left.